My name's Kelly. I own Northern Blossom Soap Company. I make a lot of really interesting and unique soaps and bath bombs, and I do sugar scrubs and soy candles as well. Today we're going to be making my most popular soap, Blueberry Bliss, but I'm testing out a new fragrance for it, and which I really like it, by the way. And then I'm also going to be frosting the top of it, which is something I haven't done in the past. I've always left it with no frosting on the top, which, for anyone who doesn't know, a frosted soap is a normal square bar soap, but we take like a cake decorating set basically, except we use soap instead of icing or frosting. And we pipe the top of it, and I made these little blueberry embeds out of cold processed soap that are super cute. They took a really long time to make, but they were totally worth it. That I'm going to stick on the top, and then we'll cut it at the end of the video so you can see what it looks like. Since some of you might not know, if you're coming to this video as one of my customers instead of a fellow soap maker, the process behind making soap is actually really cool, and it sounds kind of scary until you understand how it works, but basically you start with water and oils. So in my case, my main recipe is coconut oil, sunflower oil, olive oil, and canola oil, which makes a really nice moisturizing bar. It doesn't dry your skin out like a lot of commercial soaps do. But in order to get the oils to go from just being oils into being soap, they have to undergo a chemical reaction known as saponification. And the other reagent which causes saponification is actually sodium hydroxide, which some of you probably know it as lye, or a lot of people just call it drain cleaner because it is found in a lot of drain cleaners, and actually some drain cleaners are just all sodium hydroxide, and that sounds really scary when you hear it like that, but it's really not, because once it saponifies with the oils, there's no lye left in the finished product. All those little lye molecules find all the little oil molecules and they bind together so that it's no longer lye and it's no longer oil. When they're together, they're soap. So there's actually no lye left in the finished product. And what I do also is called super fatting, which means that there's more oil in my recipe than there is lye to react with it. So in the end product, there's actually excess oils, which means that when you wash with a bar of my soap, you get a little bit of that oil left on your skin, which means it will hydrate and moisturize your skin instead of just stripping all of the good oils off your skin, which a lot of commercial soaps do. They take all the good stuff that is a result of the saponification process and they put it in other products like lotions to make them so they can charge more money for them, basically. And one of those agents is called glycerin, which I'm sure everybody's heard of, and it's a humectant, which means it draws moisture to it. So the combination of the glycerin and the excess oils in my bars of soap mean that after you wash with it, your skin feels really nice. It's not at all like those store-bought cheap bars where you wash with it and you feel like every time you move your skin is gonna crack, because that is why I never used bar soap until I tried handmade soap, and it completely changed the game. But yeah, one of the most common questions I get at craft fairs is definitely, is there lye in your soap? And while the technical answer is, yes, lye is used to make the soap, there's none left over in the end product. So you don't have to worry about, using lye soap that's going to dry your skin out, because there's no lye in the finished product. Actually, there's more oil than the lye can react with, so you're guaranteed that there's no lye in the leftover soap. I just thought that some people might want to know if they didn't already, and if you did already know, that's cool too. Yeah, so I hope you like watching the video. I certainly like making it. I know I love making soap. My husband will tell you we have way more soap in this house than either of us know what to do with. But it's a whole lot of fun, and the most satisfying part is definitely cutting it the next day, which I'll put on the end of the video, the cut of it, because I actually filmed the video yesterday and I cut it this morning. So I have attached at the end of it the video of the final cut, and it came out amazing. And the fragrance smells so good. It is, I am blown away by how good this fragrance smells. Check it out. So I have my lye water here and oils here. Both of them are cooled to about 95 degrees. For oils, we're doing olive oil, coconut oil, sunflower oil, and canola oil. And our fragrance today is Nature's Garden Blueberry, and it is the best blueberry I've smelled by far. I really, really like it. It's not really sweet. It's, I don't know. It's a really good blueberry without being super sweet. So, I'm gonna take a stick blender and pour the lye water down the stick blender. Everybody says it helps with bubbles, but I don't know if that's really true or not. But I just do it anyway. Make sure it's all out. Burp our stick blender a little bit. It's just to get all the air bubbles out. Otherwise we end up with air bubbles in our soap and that doesn't look very good. And now we blend. Blender. I don't like to waste anything, so I scrape off like everything I use and I try to get it out really well. That also helps with not having to clean dishes so hard after we're all done. So I'm gonna pour a fragrance oil in. This is the blueberry. And I'll scrape that all in. I have my box for dirty dishes over there. This is still nice and liquidy, which I want because I'm actually going to separate a portion of this off to use for frosting, and I don't want that to set up too much on me while I am doing the base of the soap. So I am going to measure out about 42 ounces for my frosting to make sure that we have enough for that. Let me bowls here. See if I can pour without spilling it all over the place. There we go. Almost 42 on the dot. I find that 42 always ends up being a little bit extra, but I'd rather have too much rather than not be able to frost the whole top of the soap. So I'm going to set this aside. And so today for the blueberry, I'm just going to do a white base with a nice bright blue accent. That's what I have here in this little container. It is a Brilliant Blue by Nurture Soap. I love all of their colorants. Actually, the white I'm using is Nurture Soap's titanium dioxide, but I find that titanium dioxide is everywhere I've gotten it from. It's been about the same. But Nurture's colorants are amazing. You know, they really, it's rare that one morphs on you, and if it is going to morph, they say it pretty plainly right on the website that it's going to do that, so that's always really nice to know. So I'm going to color this blue with our brilliant blue mica. And this will stay this really, really nice bright blue even through the saponification process, which there's a lot of colors like purples and blues can be really hard, you know, like they want to morph, they want to turn into different colors, like sometimes blue will turn into green and then purple will turn into like a brown or a gray, which I haven't had any problems like that with anything from Nurture Soap. So this is my titanium dioxide mixed with a little bit of water. And I'm going to stick blend this in because titanium dioxide doesn't like to blend. Minimalist drop swirl. So I have my mold here, and normally when I do the blueberry, in the past I haven't frosted the top, but I felt kind of inspired to. I made these really cute blueberry embeds, so I decided this time I'm going to frost it. So I think I'll do a little bit simpler on the inside so that it doesn't take away from the visual appeal of the frosting. I just don't want it to be too busy inside here. So I'm going to pour in my white base, about half full, and hope that soap doesn't come running out through the cracks in my liner on my mold. I thought that happened to me before, and that was not fun. Line my mold with freezer paper, and sometimes if your batter is really runny like mine is today, it'll find little holes down along the sides and it will come out the edges of my mold. So, but it doesn't look like that has happened. So I'm just going to take my blue and pour it, I don't know, I think first I'll go a little high up, and I'm just going to go up one side and down the other. Then we get a nice little drop in there. And then I'm going to take my white, pour it from nice and close up, and just go up and back. And where my batter is so runny, even though I'm not going to swirl this with anything extra, it should still come out looking really like nice and swirled and pretty inside there. And I am done with my white, so I'm going to scrape it out. Make sure we get it all out here. I'll come and finish up with the blue. It looks like my mold is just the perfect amount of full. I got into ordering my fragrances from Nature's Garden, and I found this one, and it is spot on. It smells like a fresh blueberry pie, but without all the sugariness to it, so it doesn't turn so brown, but it really does smell like blueberries. And this is the first batch I've made with it, so I'm really excited to smell it when it's all done curing, because the scent will change a little bit as the soap saponifies and cures. So I'm gonna let this sit and harden up a little bit, and I will get my frosting ready to go, and I'll be right back to pipe the top. I am back to pipe, and I kind of overjudged how much frosting my piping bag was gonna hold, and like an idiot I poured the whole thing of frosting in. So my bag's a little full, but I think it'll be okay. So I'm just using nice it's just a round tip. Have some mica dispersed in oil down the sides to give it a bit of color. I have these really cute blueberry indents. Let me get one to show you up close. They're super adorable. I made them out of cold processed soap that I molded to look like little blueberries. So I'm just going to take these and set them on top. Going to take a little bit of this super sparkle mica from Nurture Soap and sprinkle it over the top. And I'll be back in 18 or so hours to cut it. I'm back now to cut the soap. It's been about 16 hours or so since I've made it, and it's firmed up nicely. So this is just a cheese slicer. One of my next investments is definitely going to be an actual soap cutter, but for now, cheese slicers are really easy to get. You can get them, I think I got this one from Kohl's, or not Kohl's, where did I get it? Bed Bath & Beyond. But any place that sells, you know, I'm sure Walmart has them too. And so I'm going to try to not slice my blueberries in half here so that each bar gets a whole even one. Let's see if I can move it over just a little bit. And that's what the inside of the soap looks like. That is exactly how I wanted it to end up, so I am very happy with that. That is precisely what I had pictured, and it's not all that often that your soap actually ends up looking exactly how you wanted it to. You know, usually actually I have a hard time getting anything to come out looking exactly how I wanted it to. It's always a learning experience. But I am very, very pleased with this particular batch. Oh, I broke the little top off one of my blueberries here. And here is bar number 2. And after these sit for a couple days, I come back over them with a potato peeler and I take these edges off. It gets rid of this rough edge, and I find that if I don't bevel the edges, it can, once the soap is fully hardened, those are actually kind of hard, and then it actually is like uncomfortable to shower with it. So beveling the edges takes that harshness away from the sides, and I feel like it also makes it look a lot better too.